Right, then it's a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V, and it's registered OE57HLC, and this is a 2-litre EX model. Mileage at the start of this brief road test is 86,036 miles. The reason we do the road test is very simple indeed. We just want customers to see the cars in operation prior to them coming to see us. That way, if there's any issues with the vehicle, we can, and we always do, relay them back to you. Road test is also done on the same quiet country roads close to our business, where any prospective buyer will go on road test if they're interested in purchasing the vehicle. So, brief summary of the vehicle really. I mean, this is a lovely spec car, EX, top of the range. This one's fitted with a couple of accessories, one you can't see quite clearly, and that's the exterior, the running boards on the side of the car. This one also benefits from having the auto cruise control, which is a lovely feature on the car. Basically, it's got cruise control as you'd have on lots of cars, but this one actually has a radar built into the Honda badge in the front, so it senses the car in front and it will slow you down and speed you up accordingly, which stops you having to constantly adjust it as you're going along. So yeah, very nice thing to have on the car. I apologise if the light's not great in this video. It's later in the day than I was planning to do this. Pressure of time means that I get as many done as I possibly can. Sometimes I've got to cram them in a little bit. But anyway, going back to the car itself, car starts absolutely first turn of the key. Settles are very smooth, very even idle on the car. Car's literally just been delivered to us, quite some distance as well, and it's running at a third on the temperature gauge, which is exactly where it should be at normal operating temperature for these vehicles. No warning lights at all on the vehicle either, worth pointing out to you, relating to the engine or any other part of the car. Engine sings sweet as a nut. It's a great engine in these cars. Cam chain driven, of course, so there's no cam belts to change on them. But they're wonderfully tough engines as well. They can take absolutely huge mileages. Engines then paired to a Honda automatic gearbox, as you'd expect from Honda. Very smooth shifting gearbox. What I'm looking for on road tests like this is any kind of delays or thumps when it goes into gear, but there's nothing at all. It engages absolutely beautifully. So I'm just going to turn the map down to night setting because it'll be a bit glary on the video, I'm sure. Coming back to the car itself, the steering of the car feels nice and precise. Doesn't feel like there's any great slack in it or anything at all, far from it. It feels as tight as a drum, in fact, this car. There's no vibrations coming back through the steering wheel. Track's absolutely bullet straight. As I said, you can't feel any sort of horrible sort of wheel balance vibrations which you sometimes get on cars, but nothing on this one. Same with the suspension of the vehicle. Again, what I'm looking out for is, you know, metallic noises being drummed up from underneath, which may be a sign of you know, a bush that might be deteriorated within the suspension system, but there's nothing. You'll hear it going over the bumps, which is quite normal, but there's none of those sort of metallic noises that kind of resonate through on occasions. Just going to check the cruise control while we're at it. So I've got basically cruise controls now activated. I've deliberately set it to a higher speed than the car in front. As the car in front starts to accelerate away now, the CR-V here starts to accelerate as well, but I've got it set for 50 miles an hour and it's currently doing about 44, which is the same speed as the car in front, so all working absolutely perfectly. In a second I'll give the car a bit of a thump on the brakes as well when I come to a junction here, which I'll turn around just to check those for you. Those who don't know, obviously these are four-wheel drive vehicles, albeit Honda worked out, you know, obviously very quickly that the vast majority of people buying these cars, you know, will be doing driving like this where four-wheel drive was simply not needed. It's only occasionally used, so why have it whirring away in four-wheel drive, sort of gobbling up tyres, using fuel, you know, putting kind of mechanical stresses on the car when it doesn't really need to. So on this car, no buttons pressed or switches or anything like that. It activates it when it decides it actually needs it, and it's absolutely seamless in operation and incredibly strong and reliable. We've never ever touched one amongst the literally now the thousands we've sold, but it works so effectively, and as I said, all the advantages of not putting that extra stress through the car. Just check those brakes again for you. Nice solid brake pedal. What I'm looking for is any kind of pulsing on the brake pedal or vibrations, which would suggest sort of possibly a potentially warped disc or extreme disc wear on the car, but all very, very good indeed. Looking around inside the car, I know I do apologise, it's getting a bit darker now, but it's in lovely condition in here. Great dashboards, absolutely beautifully built. There's not a murmur from the interior trim inside the car. That, you know, these are very, very well made cars. And it all works really nicely. You know, sat nav's nice and high up, very easy to use. It's all touchscreen once you've got the thing activated. Climate control system's dead easy to use, and again that's dual zone, so you've got, you know, different temperatures side to side can be used as well. And then the main instrument binnacle is, you know, your classic Honda fare, lovely, simple, big symmetrical dials. All the pixelation, all the readouts, absolutely as it should be. It's got auto lights, auto wipers, and I know the auto lights work because they just clicked on before I set off and test drive. But everything feels really crisp and fresh in this car. It's got a feeling that it clearly has been very well looked after. You know, whoever's had it has had a very light touch on the car. So basically that kind of concludes really the video. The video was here to pick up on any issues that might be on the car, but absolutely genuinely can't find anything at all to report back on the car. If however I've missed something glaring or otherwise, then I do apologise, and it's certainly not by intent. Then, you know, do please call us and we'll be happy to answer any questions you might have about the car.